like it was nothing, like I was just a friend, while I was falling deeper with every word you said. I memorized your laughter like it belonged to me, but you were never mine, just someone I couldn't leave. I tried to hide the feeling, pretend it wasn't there, but loving you in silence was more than I could bear. You left me loving you alone, with a heart you never had, building dreams around someone who never really felt. And I kept calling out your name in ways you'd never hear. You left me loving you alone while you were never here. I stayed in every moment, hoping you might see that I was more than someone who would just let you be. But you were always distant, even when you're close, and I was just a shadow of the love I wanted most. I thought if I stayed patient, you'd turn and look my way, but love can't grow in silence when one heart fades away. You left me loving you alone, holding on to something thin. Every word I never said was breaking me within, and I kept reaching out for you through a space you never crossed. You left me loving you alone in everything I lost. If I could change the ending, I'd change the way I feel, but loving you was never something I could heal. And now I'm learning slowly what I refused to see. You were never waiting for someone like me. You left me loving you alone, and I'm trying to let you go, even if a part of me will always hold you close. And I won't blame your silence for the love I gave away, but I can't keep loving you alone another day. I was never in your heart, just holding you in mine. I used to think forever was something we both knew, like every step we took together meant I was with you. But you were always drifting in ways I couldn't see, and I was building stories you were never in with me. I thought I heard you staying in every word you said, but silence had a meaning I never understood instead. I didn't know I was loving you alone while you were halfway gone, holding on to something that was already done. And I kept believing you were still holding on. I didn't know I was loving you alone until you were gone. once called love. Every moment I was closer to losing what we were. You were saying your goodbyes without ever saying them, and I was still pretending we could still begin again. I mistook your quiet for something still alive, but you were slowly leaving without a reason why. I didn't know I was loving you alone until there was no more us, just echoes of a feeling that I couldn't trust. And I was still reaching for a hand that let me fall. I didn't know I was loving you alone after all. Maybe love doesn't end loudly, maybe it just fades away. And I was too in love to notice what was slipping every day. And I don't blame you for it, or the way it had to be. I just wish I saw the ending before it saw me. I didn't know I was loving you alone, but I understand it now. Every memory I'm holding is already fading out, and I won't keep pretending there's something left to show. I didn't know I was loving you until I let you go. I was loving you alone, and now I know. We used to talk like nothing could ever come between, like love was something constant, like it didn't have a limit. I never thought to question if it could slowly fade. I thought it was forever, not something that could change. But somewhere in the quiet, it started slipping through, and I didn't even notice until I lost you. I didn't know love had an expiration date, that it could slowly disappear without a trace. One day it's everything you know, next day it's something you can't hold. And I'm still standing in the same place where it all began and fell away. I didn't know love had an expiration date. Now everything feels distant, like I'm watching from outside, living in a moment that already passed me by. I replay all the silence, trying to understand when love turned into nothing right inside my hands. There was no warning sign, no moment I could see, just a quiet kind of ending that stayed inside of me. I didn't know love had an expiration date. If I had known the ending, would I have loved you less? Or would I still be here now, lost inside the rest? I don't even feel the breaking, just the absence that remains, like something quietly ended without a trace of pain. I didn't know love had an expiration date. Now I'm living in the after it creates, where every memory feels the same and every feeling slowly fades. And I don't know how to escape from a love that didn't stay. I didn't know love had an expiration date. It just faded away. You used to look at me like nothing in the world could change, like we were built from something time couldn't rearrange. But little things were shifting in ways I didn't see, and I kept holding on to who you used to be. I thought love was unchanging, something built to stay. But people don't stay frozen, they slowly drift away. I loved you even after you changed, even when I should have known that the person I was holding was already gone. And I kept believing somehow you'd come back to me again. I loved you even after you changed, and that's where it ends. Now I see it in the silence, in the space you used to fill, like every conversation was fading against my will. I miss the signs you gave me while pretending nothing broke. But love can be so blind when you refuse to let it go. I thought if I loved you harder, it would bring you back to me. But love can't fix the distance between who you are and used to be. I loved you even after you changed, like I didn't want to see that I was loving a version that no longer belonged to me. And I kept rewriting memories to make them feel the same. I loved you even after you changed, and I carry that blame. Maybe I should've known sooner, but I was too afraid to accept that something perfect could quietly decay. And I don't blame the ending or the way it came undone. I just wish I'd noticed before the damage was done. I loved you even after you changed, and I don't know how to heal from loving something fading that never felt unreal. And I remember all the pieces of who you used to be. I loved you even after you changed, and it changed me. I should've known, but I still loved you. We used to believe in forever, like it was something we could hold. Back when every word we said was worth more than gold. We didn't know about endings or how they quietly arrive. We just kept on running, like we'd never say goodbye. But time doesn't wait for anyone, not even the ones who try. And slowly we stopped dreaming without knowing why. I loved you past the ending, past the place we fell apart. I kept the story going inside my broken heart, and I didn't see the moment we stopped being who we were. I loved you past the ending, even when it hurt. Now everything feels different, like I grew up overnight, and the world doesn't feel as simple as it used to in the light. I miss the way we didn't know how fragile we could be, before we learned that growing up means losing pieces of me. I thought we'd stay the same forever, like nothing could go wrong. But innocence doesn't stay once it's gone. I loved you past the ending, even when it wasn't real. Still chasing what we used to be, and how it made me feel. And I kept holding on to something that was already gone from view. I loved you past the ending, while growing out of you. And I don't blame the distance or the time that put us apart. I just didn't know growing up would change my heart. I loved you past the ending, like I didn't understand that every story has a moment it slips out of your hands. The ending, and I can't anymore. We were younger before we learned endings. I kept your name in silence, like it still meant something true, even when the world kept telling me there was nothing left of you. I stayed right where you left me, like I owed you that much time, believing if I waited you'd somehow still be mine. But waiting doesn't fix what's broken, it only makes it worse. And I was holding on to something that was never really hers. I stayed loyal to a love that left, like it never said goodbye. Kept believing in a version that was already out of sight. And I don't know why I couldn't see what was fading all along. I stayed loyal to a love that left while everything was gone. Now I talk to empty spaces like they might talk back to me. And I live inside a memory that refuses to leave. Every moment feels heavier, like it knows what I won't say. That I've been lost inside this love since the day you walked away. There's no direction left to follow, no reason left to stay. It could come back home, and I kept on giving everything to something that won't return. I stayed loyal to a love that left, and I'm the one who burns. Maybe loyalty is dangerous when it's only from one side. Maybe love can turn into a place where people hide, and I don't know how to leave it, even knowing what I know. I stayed loyal to a love that left, and it won't let me go. I stayed loyal to a love that left, like I had no other choice. Like silence was a promise, and absence still had a voice. And I'm tired of pretending there's still something left to say. I stayed loyal to a love that left, and it made me this way. Still here, still waiting for something that never comes back. You were sitting right beside me, but I couldn't feel a thing. Like the space between our breathing was louder than anything. We stopped talking without noticing, just let the silence grow. And I stayed there in the moment you already let go. I kept waiting for a feeling that never came back, like I was holding on to something fading into black. I stayed where love was disappearing, right in front of me, watching every piece of us turn into memory. And I tried to keep it breathing, even when it wasn't there. I stayed where love was disappearing, like I didn't care. I learned how to sit in silence, like it didn't hurt at all. Like being close to someone could still feel so small. You stopped seeing who I was, but I stayed the same, hoping if I didn't move you might remember my name. But love doesn't come back just because you stay. And I was losing everything while you drifted away. I stayed where love was disappearing, even when I knew there was nothing left to hold between me and you. And I kept pretending there was something left to say. I stayed where love was disappearing, till there was nothing left of me to give. Maybe I was too quiet, or maybe you just didn't see that I was slowly breaking where you used to be. And I don't blame the silence for what we became, but it hurts to feel forgotten, standing in the same place. Stayed where love was disappearing, and I don't know why. Maybe I was hoping it just needed time. But love doesn't survive when only one heart stays. I stayed where love was disappearing, and it slowly slipped away. And I'm still standing there in the quiet. I wake up in the same place, but nothing feels the same. Like I'm living in a shadow of a life we couldn't save. I move through all the motions like I'm supposed to feel, but everything is quiet in a way that isn't real. I thought the pain would find me, but it never came. Just an empty kind of silence calling out your name. I was still dreaming of us while you were already gone, living in a memory I kept holding on. And I don't even feel it the way I thought I would. I was still dreaming of us like I misunderstood. There's no tears left to fall now, just a space inside my chest where something used to matter. Now it's quiet at its best. I see your face in moments, but it doesn't break me down. It's just a passing feeling that never sticks around. I don't know when it happened or how it slipped away, but somewhere in the distance I stopped feeling the pain. I was still dreaming of us in a world that doesn't exist, trying to hold on to something I don't even miss. And I don't know what's worse now, feeling this or feeling nothing at all. If I close my eyes, I can almost pretend that we're still somewhere that never had to end. But even in my dreams, you're starting to fade, like everything we were is slowly erased. I was still dreaming of us, but I'm waking up alone to a feeling that isn't pain, just something I don't know. And maybe this is healing, or maybe it's just loss. I was still dreaming of us till it all turned off. No tears, just silence. I found your photo in a drawer, covered in time and dust. You were smiling like we knew the world was made for us. But that was long before the silence, before we lost our way, before we stopped pretending we had something left to save. Now every frame is heavier than it used to be, like it's holding all the answers we were too blind to see. I was still waiting at the same place where you used to say my name, like maybe time would bring you back. And nothing had to change, but seasons passed right through me while I stayed where we began. I was still waiting at the same place, holding what we had. The streets still look familiar, but they don't feel the same. Like every corner whispers that you're the one who changed. I passed the places we once loved, like ghosts I can't escape. And every step just reminds me of what I couldn't save. I thought I'd see you walking, like nothing slipped away. But time doesn't return people, it only takes them away. I was still waiting at the same place, even when you were gone. Like if I stayed a little longer, you might still come along. And I kept holding on to memory, like it was something real. I was still waiting at the same place for something time could heal. Maybe you were never coming, maybe I already knew, but letting go felt harder than holding on to you. And I don't blame the ending or the way it had to be. I just wish the waiting hadn't stayed inside of me. I was still waiting at the same place, but I finally understand that some love becomes a memory you can't hold in your hands. And I won't stand here forever where we used to be. I was still waiting at the same place, but it's no longer me. Same started like a promise that the world couldn't erase. Every word felt like a future, every touch had its place. But time was always moving faster than we planned, and I kept trying to hold it like it would understand. We had the right kind of feeling, just the wrong kind of days, and I didn't see it slipping till it started to fade. I was still writing our story alone, adding pages you'd never read, holding on to a version of us that we could never be. And I kept turning the chapters like you'd walk back into my life, but you were already gone from every line I tried to write. I was still writing our story alone. I filled in all the endings that we never got to live, built a life inside my mind with everything we didn't give. And every almost moment still lingers in between, like a love that had a future but forgot what it could mean. We were close to something real, but not enough to stay. And I was left believing you would find your way. I was still writing our story alone while you were closing the book, trying to find the meaning in every chance we took. And I kept holding on to words that you never said out loud. I was still writing our story alone in a memory I allowed. If I met you in another time, will we finally get it right, or will we still be two souls that just miss the light? And maybe that's the ending we were meant to know, a love that felt like everything but had to let go. I was still writing our story alone, but I'm learning how to stop, letting go of every chapter that I never should have kept. And even if it hurts me to finally close the page, I won't keep rewriting us just to stay. I was still writing our story alone. Some stories aren't meant to end the way we hoped they would. I learned how to count the pennies like they were counting me. Every day was just survival, not the life I thought it'd be. We didn't have much to hold on, but we held on anyway, through broken mornings, empty plates, and long forgotten days. I thought we'd turn the page together, slowly line by line, but life doesn't wait for people who are running out of time. You closed a chapter I was still reading before I reached the end, left me standing in the middle of a story I couldn't mend. And And I'm still trying to understand how it ended like it did. You closed a chapter I was still reading, and I'm still inside of it. There were nights I couldn't sleep, just listening to the rain, wondering if tomorrow would feel the same again. We made promises in silence, we never had the words, but life kept getting heavier than anything we were. I thought struggle meant tomorrow would finally be kind, but some days just keep repeating the same old lines. You closed a chapter I was still reading, while I was holding on to every page we struggled through. Even after you were gone, and I kept turning back the pages, like you might still be there. You closed the chapter I was still reading, without a warning, without care. Whoa, whoa. Maybe survival is just learning what you have to let go, even when you're not ready, even when it shows. And I don't blame the ending or the hands that had to choose. I just wish I had more time before I lost you. You closed a chapter I was still reading, and I'm learning how to breathe with unfinished pages, still holding on to me. And I'll carry every word we live, even when it's hard to see. You closed a chapter I was still reading, but it still belongs to me. Still reading, still surviving. You used to shine beside me like we lit the same sky, but I was chasing something I couldn't justify. I thought I had forever to figure out my mind. Didn't see you dimming while I stayed bright. I told myself you'd wait for me like you always did before, but love can only hold on for so long when it's ignored. You faded while I stayed bright, and I didn't even see that I was standing in the spotlight while you were losing me. And I kept taking more from you than I ever gave in return. You faded while I stayed bright, now I'm the one who burns. You stopped asking questions like you already knew that I was drifting further every time I chose me over you. I thought you'd understand me like you always had, but understanding silence so bad. I was busy being everything I thought I had to be, while you were slowly breaking right in front of me. You faded while I stayed bright, like I was blind to it all. I didn't hear the quiet in the way you stopped the call, and I kept moving forward while you were standing still. You faded while I stayed bright, and I always will. If I could go back to the moment, I'd choose you over everything. But I didn't know what mattered till I lost what it could bring. And now I see your absence in every step I take. I didn't mean to lose you for a life I couldn't make. You faded while I stayed bright, and I finally understand that love isn't about shining if you're losing someone's hand. And I'd give up all the light now just to have you here tonight. You faded while I stayed bright, and I lost you in that light. I was shining, but you were disappearing. You said it was forever, like it didn't have an end. But forever turned to silence when you chose someone else instead. I noticed something changing in the way you held my hand, like you were already leaving before I could understand. I asked you if we're okay. You said there's nothing wrong. The truth was in the distance. You were gone all along. You left before the love was finished, before it had a chance to fade. You traded all we built together for a lie you never named. And I was still believing in every word you said. You left before the love was finished, but the damage stayed instead. Now I see it in the moments that I try to overlook. Every message that you hid from me, every second you mistook. I was giving you my trust like it was something strong and real, but you were already breaking it before I got a feel. You didn't have to hurt me to let me go like that, but you chose a different ending while I was still intact. You left before the love was finished, like it meant nothing to you, like everything we held together was something you outgrew. And I'm left here with the questions you never stayed to face. You left before the love was finished and walked away replaced. Was it easy when you said my name, knowing it wasn't true? Did you feel anything at all when I was loving you? Was I just a moment you were waiting to outgrow, while I was building something you were ready to let go? You left before the love was finished, and I don't how to heal from something that was real to me, but never felt that real to you. And I won't chase your silence or the truth you never gave. You left before the love was finished, but I'm the one who stayed. You ended early, but I'm still feeling all of it. It's 2 a.m., I'm wide awake with everything I couldn't say. Your name is sitting on my lips, but it just fades away. I thought I'd get another chance to tell you how I feel, but silence came before the words I never made real. Now every sentence lives inside me with nowhere left to go, and I keep talking to the quiet like you already know. You left me holding unspoken words that never found their way to you. Every I love you I swallowed down still feels like something true, and now I'm crying in the dark where no one else can see. You left me holding unspoken words that still belong to me. Replay every moment, trying to change the end. Like maybe if I said it all, you wouldn't have left then. But time doesn't go backward, and you don't hear my voice. I'm stuck inside the silence of a love without a choice. There's 1,000 things I'd tell you if you were still around, but they're just echoes in my chest that never make a sound. You left me holding unspoken words like they were never meant to be. Every truth I try to hide is all that's left of me, and I keep whispering your name into the empty room. You left me holding unspoken words that came too late for you. If I could say it one more time, would anything change? Or would it still be silence standing in your place? I held it all inside me, thinking I had time, but now the words are all I have, and none of them are mine. You left me holding unspoken words, and I don't know how to let them go. They're written in the tears I hide in ways I'll never show, and maybe one day they'll fade, but tonight they're all I see. You left me holding unspoken words that never set me free. I should have said it before you left. We used to talk for hours about nothing and everything, like time was something endless we never had to think. But now I sit in silence where your voice used to stay, and all those simple moments have slowly drifted away. I didn't see it happening, the way it slipped so slow, like love turned into echoes before I even know. You let silence replace everything, without a word, without a sound, like all we built just disappeared and never turned around. And I keep replaying memories that don't feel real anymore. You let silence replace everything and closed every door. The places we once laughed in don't echo anymore, just empty conversations we don't have like before. I walk through old reminders like I'm chasing something gone, but silence doesn't answer, it just carries on. I thought we'd always have a way to find each other still, but silence grew between us. Without our will, you let silence replace everything, like we never even tried, like every word we never said was slowly left to die. And I'm still holding fragments of a life that feels so far. You let silence replace everything and left me where you are. Maybe silence was the ending we were too afraid to name, or maybe we just stopped trying to be the same. And I don't blame the quiet or the way we drifted through, but I wish I knew the moment I started losing you. You let silence replace everything, and I'm learning how to see that not all endings are spoken. Some just let you be, and I won't keep chasing echoes of what we used to be. You let silence replace everything, and it replaced me. Silence, everything. We used to talk about the future like it was something close, like distance was just temporary. Now it's something we wouldn't know. But time kept moving faster than we ever planned, and slowly all our somedays slipped through our hands. I thought we closed the space between us like we always said we would, but every mile between us this started feeling permanent for good. You made distance feel permanent, like it was never meant to close. Like every step I took toward you only made it feel like I let go. And I kept believing somehow we would make it through the end. But you made distance feel permanent, and we never met again. Now I count the hours differently, like they mean something still. But every day just proves to me time doesn't bend to will. I see you in the memories that don't feel real anymore, like we were just a moment that didn't have a door. I thought love could survive it, all the space and all the time, but we got lost inside it without even drawing the line. You made distance feel permanent, like it was part of who we are. Like no matter how I reach for you, you're always too far. And I don't know when it happened, when we stopped trying to pretend. You made distance feel permanent, and this is how it ends. Maybe we were never ready for a love that had to wait, or maybe time just showed us what we couldn't change. Now I see the truth in every silence we ignored. Distance didn't break us, we were broken before. You made distance feel permanent, and I'm learning how to see that some dreams aren't meant to follow you across the sea. And I won't keep pretending we could still become what we were meant. You made distance feel permanent, and I'm finally accepting it. Permanent, just like us. We used to feel so certain, like nothing could go wrong. But now I sit in silence, trying to hold on to pieces of a moment that don't feel like before. Like something in your presence doesn't feel secure anymore. It's not that you were leaving, it's how you made me feel. Like I was always guessing if any of it was real. You made me question what we had, like I imagined it alone. Like every word I held on to was never fully known. And now I don't know what was truth or what I built myself. You made me question what we had, and nothing feels like help. started overthinking the way you used to speak, turning every memory into something incomplete. Even when you wouldn't hear me, it felt like you were far, like I was loving someone who wasn't where they are. I try to find the answers inside your quiet tone, but silence isn't honest when you face it alone. You made me question what we had until I lost my trust in every little moment that once meant so much. And I kept replaying everything until it fell apart. You made me question what we had and broke my heart. Was it real or just a feeling I made inside my head? Did we ever have a beginning, or just a path that led to me standing here uncertain of everything we were? All I know is I am different since I started questioning her. You made me question what we had, and I still don't know why. But now I see the distance that lived between your lies, and I won't find the answers to something already gone. You made me question what we had, and I'm moving on. I questioned until nothing was left. The room still feels like morning before the world went still, like time forgot to move on, but everything was killed. Your jacket's still on the chair, like you might walk back in, but I know that kind of silence doesn't let you begin again. They say you're somewhere peaceful, but peace feels far away, when every breath reminds me of the words I couldn't say.
You took the light when you went,
left the shadows here with me. Now every corner of this life is darker than it used to be, and I keep reaching for your voice in the quiet that remains. You took the light when you went, and nothing feels the same. I still hear you in the hallway, like echoes of before, like love refused to leave me even when you walked out the door. I talk to empty spaces, like they might answer back, but grief doesn't reply, it only leaves you trapped. I thought time would make it lighter, but it only makes it clear that some goodbyes don't fade away, they stay forever near. You
took the light when you went,
and left me in the night, you made. You took the light when you went, and it never came back to stay. If I could bring you back for just one moment, I wouldn't ask for more, just to tell you everything I couldn't say before. But silence is the answer to every prayer I send, and I'm learning how to live where nothing ends.
You took the light when you went,
and I'm still learning how to breathe in a world that lost its color when you were taken from me. And I know I can't reach you, but I still reach out in pain. You took the light when you went, and I'll never be the same. We said forever like it meant no distance, no goodbye. But now you're living in a place I can't reach if I try. Your voice comes through the static like it's breaking in the air. Every word feels closer than the truth that you're not here. We promised we were stronger than the miles in between, but love feels different when it's only on a screen. You turn forever into a memory, something I can't hold anymore. Just a feeling I remember from the life we had before. And I keep replaying moments like they might bring you back to me, but you turned forever into a memory and left me in between. I keep counting all the time zones like they'll lead me back to you, but every hour just reminds me of the things we couldn't do. We said we closed the distance, but it only grew instead. Now I'm holding on to echoes of the words we never said. I was building all my days around a maybe and a when, but you were slowly learning how to let it end. You turned forever into a memory like you never had a chance, like we were just a moment lost between circumstance. And I'm still reaching through the silence for love I couldn't keep. You turned forever into a memory, it still belongs to me. If I could cross the distance, would it still be too late? Or were we always something that couldn't change our fate? And I hate that I still feel you in everything I do, even when you're further than I ever knew. You turned forever into a memory, and I'm learning how to let it go, even if a part of me will always turned forever into a memory that I'll carry through my life. Forever, just a memory now. We used to talk about forever, like it was already ours, like time would never change us, no matter where we are. But somewhere in the distance, between the truth and dreams, you started calling us something that didn't last as it seemed. I thought we were unshakable, something built to stay. But you were already leaving in a quieter way. You turned us into something temporary, like we were never meant to last. Like every moment we created was already in the past. And I keep replaying everything like it might still be true. You turned us into something temporary, and I'm still missing you. Now I see it in the silence that replaced your voice, like we stopped being a decision and just became a choice. You didn't say goodbye loud, you just slowly disappeared. And I was still believing you were still here. I held on to forever while you let it fade. And I didn't see the ending that you had already made. You turned us into something temporary without even trying to stay. Like love was just a moment that we lost along the way. And I'm still holding on to echoes of what we used to be. You turned us into something temporary, and it's still part of me. Maybe we were never meant to be more than what we were. Or maybe I just loved you more than you prefer. And I don't blame the distance or the way it all unfolded, but it hurts to know forever was something you never told me. You turned us into something temporary, and I'm learning how to see that some love is just a moment, not a place to be. And I won't keep rewriting what was never meant to stay. You turned us into something temporary, and I'm letting it fade away. Temporary, just us.